Hey folks, what's going on? I got another video for you here, and this time we're talking about legalization of marijuana, and this is from the White House. Now, before I get into it, I'm just gonna make a quick summary of what you're gonna hear in this. Basically, the White House has its head shoved so far up its ass that it's actually creating a type of inception to where its head is actually going inside of its mouth. Well, they say basically the opposite of everything that's true. This is going to start here, huh? Marijuana use is harmful and should be discouraged. Okay, sure, it should definitely be discouraged, okay, but that is not harmful. Now, if this was enough reason to keep marijuana illegal, alcohol should be illegal. Prescription pills should be illegal. They shouldn't be allowed to be prescribed to patients. In fact, that's one reason why they say marijuana is a bad medicine, because it does this shit right here. And marijuana is an intoxicant, and because to distort perceptions, difficulty thinking, and problem solving, and problems with learning and memory. Okay, Einstein smoked pot, guys. He is one of the reasons why we are where we are today. Carl Sagan, that guy smoked weed. Okay. So many different people that smoke pot. It affects everybody differently. But again, if that was enough reason to keep it illegal, alcohol should be illegal, prescription pills should be illegal. There can't be a double standard here. There's no, this hypocrisy is bullshit. And studies have shown that chronic marijuana use, it increases rate of anxiety. Okay, that's kind of true, but that's only for new people that are smoking pot. If it makes you have anxiety, then stop smoking pot. Okay, now look at this. This one's very interesting because it's true, people. This one right here is true. But what they don't say is that, first of all, the studies show that marijuana contains 50 to 70% more carcinogens. Basically, what a carcinogen is a chemical that can cause cancer. And yes, marijuana has more than tobacco does. But what they don't tell you is that marijuana also has cannabinoids, and almost all of them are anti-tumor, blah blah blah. They actually fight cancer, so you cannot die from smoking pot. This is just some stupid scare tactic that they took out of context and didn't finish saying, oh, but it does have stuff that counteracts that, so you're fine. Legalization would lower the price, therefore increasing use. Yes, it would lower the price, because the only reason it's expensive is because it's illegal. Therefore, people can go out and sell it and make big profit off of a plant that costs nothing to grow. There's this artificial, price jump just because of it being illegal. Why would making it legal make people want to do it more? Okay, alcohol is legal. I don't drink. That stuff's nasty. Tobacco, cigarettes are legal. I don't smoke. Half the people in America say pot should be legal. Yeah, that's a fact. Okay, do you think half the people in America smoke? No. Okay, only 20 million people smoke, and that's a lot less than half. People realize that it infringes on people's rights as American citizens to do whatever they want. As long as you aren't hurting anybody and you're being responsible, then it should be legal. I mean, come on. Again, with alcohol. Why isn't alcohol illegal? I'll tell you why right now, because you can't do much more with alcohol than get drunk off of it, okay? You can do so many things with pot. Alright, tax and revenue. That would offset higher social costs. And then they bring in alcohol and tobacco here. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, the society cost of alcohol and tobacco is way worse than what we get from the revenue. That's true, because these two substances are bad for you. Marijuana is a different thing. It is not alcohol. It is not tobacco. Yet it is illegal, and those two things are legal. Okay? Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Okay, 300,000 people die a year because of alcohol. That's definitely going to cost society. Tobacco, 500,000 people. This is just in America. Yeah, that's going to cost a lot of money. All right, alcohol. Most people are actually not even dying behind the wheel. That's because of alcohol overdose. That's not even counting. 300,000 people a year when you add in alcohol overdose and people driving off the road into trees and stuff. Okay, now let's talk about pot. I'm sure there are people that crash their cars because they're stupid and they go driving around while they're high, but you're not going to see anybody that is overdosing on weed and dying. If anything, you're going to see maybe, and I mean maybe, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of what happens between alcohol and tobacco with marijuana. It's just not going to happen. You're comparing apples to oranges. They're different, all right? Marijuana cannot kill you. Alcohol and tobacco can kill you. So you just do the math there. Yeah, alcohol and tobacco is expensive in that retrospect because you're going to die eventually. Pot doesn't kill you. In fact, it helps people a lot. Oh, legalization would further the burden of criminal justice. If they're talking about domestic violence going up because of marijuana being illegal, tell me right now, why isn't there so many people causing domestic violence disputes right now, even though marijuana isn't legal? You got to understand, there's a bunch of people that smoke pot already. You know, from what I understand, and I've heard from a lot of police say, you know, most domestic violence is caused under, you know, the influence of alcohol. What's that all about, huh? So that's fine, but as soon as somebody smokes a doobie, that's bad. You know, let's catch them, let's throw them in jail, let's give them probation, and let's give them fines and all kinds of stupid penalties. You can't go to college if you wanted to. You can't get a job with the state. You couldn't do any of that stuff anymore. No loans, no nothing. But if you're a murderer or a rapist, you know, you get out early and you can go do all those things.
If you've been caught, a young person in the U.S. with so much as one marijuana cigarette, you can't get a loan or grant from the government to go to college. If you've been convicted of murdering somebody or raping someone, no problem. You go right down, they'll give you the loan. I guess the message is it's okay to rape and murder and pillage, just don't smoke a joint afterwards.
Legalization would do little, if anything, to curb the drug violence. That is pure ignorance.
As being a continuing social problem, but we don't have people shooting each other over alcohol.
Crime into it. That's why the benefits and the ability to make money is so huge.
Okay, if you look, I'm just going to talk about the Mexican drug cartel because they're the biggest gang that, well, you know, aside from what is it, MS-13, you know, these guys, the drug cartel, they do most of the drug selling. Okay, 60% of their revenue comes from marijuana. Okay, they neglected to say that in here, but they do say, oh, if you legalize it, they're just okay. So legalizing marijuana would not defer these groups from continuing to operate. Yes, you're right. They're still going to do these terrible things like human trafficking and other crimes, but a lot of them that were just there for selling pot, they might go into legally selling pot. There will be money to be made in legal pot. Okay, definitely. A lot of people think if they legalize weed, then people are going to start selling more crack and coke and all these other drugs. But who are they going to sell those drugs to if the demand isn't going up anymore? Okay, it's not like people are going to want more of those drugs just because weed is legal. In fact, it's going to have the opposite effect, because when weed is not around these other drugs, it is no longer a gateway drug. You know, they don't call alcohol a gateway drug, but it is a drug, so wouldn't that make it a gateway drug? It's because it's not around those other drugs to be taken. Therefore, it is no longer a gateway drug. The other drugs would start to go down in profit for these gangs. Less and less people are using these drugs because their old customers are all dying off and stuff. And who the hell is wanting to do crack anyway? Only 1 out of 100 people that use marijuana go on to use coke, and less than 1 use heroin. That's something I also picked up in the movie that I took the clip from. It's called The Union. Very good show. You guys should go and watch that right away. You'll learn a lot from it. I certainly did. I don't know what the White House is doing, what they're thinking. This is all wrong. They're either lying to us or they're ignorant. So either way, I don't know if I like having people like that in charge. They're either lying or stupid. But I mean, they think like if you legalize pot, these guys are gonna go from selling weed to selling crack and coke and heroin and stuff like that, and selling people. Just, you know, if you legalize pot, okay, boom, you don't have to worry about, you know, going after potheads. So now you can focus on people that are doing human trafficking, that are doing other drug distributions and other crimes, because, you know, half of what you're doing isn't going towards pot anymore. That's the real burden that they're talking about right here with the criminal justice. You're going to make them do real job, you know, make them go after real criminals. That is a burden, isn't it? You're like a broken record player You just look right through the facts, and you just say whatever you want. Then you're stupid. If you think that this heaping just pile of garbage here is truth, fact, then you've been brainwashed, and you need a therapist, and you know what, you need to just smoke a doobie, okay? Smoke a joint. Check it out.